IBAT is a not-for-profit public charitable trust. Over a period of time, we have grown into a think tank that aims to provide a platform for policymakers, technologists, academicians, and industry leaders. So we get together, and what's the purpose? We debate, we discuss, and we share our views. While doing that, we cover a broad range of topics like contemporary management, technical issues, geopolitical issues, and also economic issues. So for today, I would like to invite Mr. Rajaram Shetty, who is a chartered accountant for the last 4 decades. I would like to invite him here, and we will listen to him and get his views on how this interesting group of 12 people have got together and how we will be using this think tank to share our ideas.
We got here people of eminence who have in their own way built their future. Once Abraham Lincoln said, you can predict your future provided you create it. So these people have created, and their journey of life actually should be visualized by all people, especially younger generation. You are welcome here. Thank you. Thank you, Ananda.
Mr. M. Kiran Babu, he is the forest ranger at Karnataka Forest Department. And the topic he'll be talking about today is his journey from IT professional to forest officer. He comes from a defense family, and I've come to believe that there is not a single year that he spent in the same place since his childhood till now. He's been a constant traveler. He's traveled the length and breadth of India, where he began his professional life with Moti Xerox, ITPL, and AT&T. Something triggered in his life that he made a quantum leap from the corporate world to nature. Let's talk to Mr. Kiran Babu and listen to him and see what he has to say. Mr. Babu.
For 2 decades, I've been addressing wildlife, animals, trees, plants, water sources, whatnot. It's already 2 decades. And now, beautiful people and intelligent people like you in front of me, I'm a bit tense, so if I go wrong somewhere, please do correct me. So, it's already 2 decades since I got to the stage. So, this is the first time after that. So, I think Mr. Kiran Acharya and our Commando Rana sir made a wonderful, I think, presentation way back. I mean, early today. But when you compare their, presentation, my presentation might look very, dull, boring and all, I don't know. But let me just try to get you people through that. So, I come from a background where my dad was an military doctor. So that is way back in 1970s, where India was fighting the war in Pakistan, in the Himalayan border. So once he was done with the military activity, he relocated back to Bangalore. So he was appointed there as a surgeon, district surgeon. So he had done his MBBS, MS, MCH and MCH plastic surgery. So my mom hails from Bangalore, my dad hails from Melkote, which is a very small place near Mandya. So my dad relocated to Bangalore, and he was working for Lady Curzon Hospital. And I was born in Bangalore at that time, and I have a sister who was born 2 years before that. So our life started off like all other families, simple. Since dad was a very upright officer who was very straightforward, so he was spread all over Karnataka. So he kept on getting transfers every year, every now and then. So literally my dad also, we had household articles which were foldable, in the sense like, today he gets an order, so my dad comes home and says, pack up, just like, any other movie set is kind of thing. So immediately we start working, we fold all the chairs, we do everything, next day the lorry is ready. Chalo, chalenge, finished, it's over. So we went all around Karnataka, getting transferred, staying in places, being with them. So that was the kind of this thing I went through. So I started my schooling in Saint Philomena's Bellary. So that was my dad's second posting. First posting I was still a baby. So my UKG first standard started in Bellary. So this way we got sprayed around all around Karnataka. Not to just go have a look and come back, but to stay there, be in that heat of Bellary, stay in the cold of Bangalore, Mysore, Hubli or whatever. So whenever I traveled and stayed in those places, I made a lot of friends. Got acquainted to the nature, temperature, climate and the local surroundings. So it was a unique experience that not many of them will get. So I learned a lot of their dialects, like languages, colloquial languages, like in Hubli, the language is very harsh. People are very sweet, but language is very harsh. Madam must be knowing that. Yen pa dosta ye madakati. So you come down to Bangalore, it's again a different way of talking, and you come to our pretty little Kundapura, hoiku barku, amazing. So you'll just enjoy that language. So this is my childhood where I grew up with my family. I loved sports, so basically I was into sports from my childhood. And as I grew up, a lot of interest was there in sports. But what happened was there was a turning point in my life where my dad got affected with hepatitis B. So in 1993, hepatitis B was an unknown virus. So just like what you have corona now, 1993 there was no vaccinations or anything. Now a newborn baby is vaccinated with this thing. So my life took a turn there where dad got hospitalized. He was in the hospital for nearly 6 years, 1994 to 1999, when eventually he expired. So I had to kind of slightly pull back from my studies, take care of the family, and take care of my sister's studies also. So, and even take care of my dad, who was not feeling well at that time. So going around all over Karnataka and studying all over the places, then again to take care of the family, I had to get into a job. So I got into a company called Modi's Rocks. And before that, I used to drive a cab. So initially my first job was driving a cab, and then I got into Modi's Rocks. It was a sales department which I got into. So worked there for some time. So I had a lot of nice experience in sales also, nice exposure also. Then all of my friends had a dream. There was a dream run for IT departments. Like in 1998, it was like everybody, there was an IT boom happening all around. So all my friends, everybody, even parents, everybody, they were more willing to send their kids into IT rather than any other, this thing. So, and while I was working for this IT company, so it's kind of a white collar job which I was into. So normally in a month or two, whatever targets we had, we used to achieve those targets, and we had an habit of getting into the forest, say trekking for 1 or 2 days, sitting there in that calmness, enjoying the nature or whatever, then getting back and start doing work. So with this habit, once what happened was, that was my turning point where we all friends started trekking into the forest and I got lost. So this was in Kudremukha forest, where 8 of us went there, and I sprained my ankle. I asked my friends to move along in the forest, and I missed the route and couldn't get to them again. So 2 days I stayed in the forest. Uh, we went into the forest and I lost the way, and we stayed in the forest. I stayed alone in the forest for 2 days, crying, thinking about my father, my mother, my sister, everybody, and I thought, okay, that's it, my life is over. So that's one point where I saw death this close. So like just earlier, Commander Rana sir was telling me that they were struck for 36 hours and everything was bombarding, nothing was bombarding me. There was no sound, there was nothing, me alone in the forest, sitting and crying, thinking about all what happened in my life. And I thought, that's it, this is the end point of my life and I am dead. So I was looking at my death so closely. So I could hear the animals and all shout and everything, but I couldn't do anything because I was lost. So at least now we have electronic gadgets where at least it will show you the way with your GPS as to how to come back. Or now I am trained enough to know which route to take and how to get back to to my place. But we were very raw. We didn't know what to do. So again, here also it was nature which was in front of me, but I couldn't do anything. So as soon as so when I was in the forest, so there was a smuggler who came there to to cut trees, and probably that was my nam punyantara lange. It was my fate. So this guy who came there to cut trees, he saw me and I was totally dehydrated. I was tired. I had walked, for 2 days. I didn't had food or anything. So I had a earring in my ears. So I removed that. I had no money. I gave it to him. I said, "Sir, please take me back to the place where I came from." So luckily enough, that guy, he took me back and I was saved. By the time I got back home, my mom was ready with a photograph and a garland and everything that my son is finished. So luckily I was saved, but there was something for me to realize, but that life is very short. It's just like a bubble on water. So today you are there, tomorrow you are not there, the next moment you are not there. So, and when I came back, I got this green sickness, which I don't know if anybody knows. So the green sickness is like, whenever I saw greenery, I started shivering, I started puking, I was really not able to stand up. So I seriously couldn't go to places, even agricultural lands where there were greenery. Nothing of that sort. As soon as I enter there, whenever I see greenery around, I used to feel pukish, frightened, and psychologically I wasn't able to cope up. So I had one of my friends who was a psychiatrist again. So I spoke to him. So when I spoke to him, he said, if you fear something, you go back to that. You keep going back to that. So he gave me this suggestion, and it was very difficult for me to digest that. So what I did was I slowly started getting back to the forest, time and again. So slowly I started getting acquainted. So slowly that green sickness what was there in me, the fear of forest, that went away. And I started enjoying the forest on the other way around. So after this incident, what happened was I got into core IT, where I was working for a company called AT&T. It's an American telephone and telegraph company. So it's a telecommunication company, but I was holding the back-end operations. So once I got into IT, it was, like white-collar job. You got to sit, you got to be very, formally dressed and stuff like that. It used to, I was not liking that job. So I got an opportunity, a breakthrough to get into the forest department. So I got selected in the forest department, and eventually I got my appointment letter also. But here I had to decide whether I stick to IT, which was booming at that time. 2003 was a time, and all my friends were like, they wanted to go to US, settle down there, make money, come back and enjoy their life and everything. And my dad always said, my dad was MBBS, MS, MCH. So when he was staring at the deathbed in 1993 when he got hepatitis B, he told me one thing, which even today I remember. Son, this life is very short. Don't have that peer pressure of doing what others want you to do. Don't have that peer pressure of doing what others want you to do. You are playing into their hands. You do something which you want to do because it's your life. It's not their life. Now your father is asking you to become a doctor, engineer, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You're becoming what he wants you to be. One day you are a father. If you look back at life and think as to what you wanted to do in life, you're never there. You were never there. You were always doing things which society wanted, which the next house uncle wanted, or his son is doing. So what is that you want? You do that because life is very short. So these things was there in my mind. So most of my friends said, "Hey Kirana, yenu anta olle job bitbitu neenu alli kaadalli hogi malkoltiya." So these were the feedbacks what I was getting. But I believed in my instincts and I gave up my job. I gave up my job where I was drawing say somewhere around 80,000 to 1 lakh. That was in 2003. And I settled down to this job where my salary was 3,300 rupees. So there everybody said, "Hey man, you're a loser. See, you had such an opportunity. You could have gone to USA." I had my thing that 15th of August I had to fly to US to be trained. But I think June 5th is what I joined my forestry job. So after joining my forestry job, it is an amazing job. You're always with nature, always with greenery. So I always had an intention, since my dad used to get transferred every now and then. So I got into a habit of understanding in people's culture, their way, their tradition, their language and everything. So I thought my life is very short, even to understand the whole of Karnataka. Even for me to understand the whole of Karnataka, 60 years is very less or 70 years is very less what you term the average lifespan of a person. So what I decided was, I will first look into my state, enjoy what all are there in my state, and then probably I'll go have a look around later in my life. So when I got first posted to, there was a training period for a year, just like what military people get trained. So we were put into a place called Dandeli. So that training was for 1 year. So 1 year you're rigorously trained, and they make you so hardy that you can stay in the forest even without getting into towns or cities. So you get used to being in forest. So as soon as I took my postings and everything, I started enjoying my career. So this see, again I'm telling you, jungly department so called, so it is not well prepared. My actually this was prepared by my son yesterday night and my brother. So I still haven't had a look at it also. So when I joined forest department and got my first postings in Kollur was a Naxalite prone area at that time. So a lot of Naxalites were there, and 2003 was peak time of Naxalites. So I used to take my staff and everybody, say get into the forest, stay there for 3 days, 4 days. Today I can tell you there are places just around Udupi district which is unexplored, unseen, and nobody even knows about it. So there are many places like that, not one or two. So I used to go stay there in the top of the hills. So there used to be there are small settlements like 6 families, 7 families, 8 families who have been there since 100, 200 years. And it is so nice to talk to them, stay with them, have their local food. So there you don't have mixie, grinder, light, current and all. So you have this chakki pitne ka, that stone thing. So they prepare akki rotis and they give you urkoli chicken or country chicken or whatever. So that tastes so beautiful. I mean, it's such a wonderful thing. We go take bath in a river, come back, relax. Physically you are drained out because you would have trekked enough or hiked enough. So once you have trekked enough, food looks really delicious with the rotis and the country chicken what they give us. And you also get something also there. I don't know whether I am allowed to tell that, but it is better than all the scotches in the world. So it is very, country made, and it is made right there where they are staying. So it is so tasty that, probably it will not, any of the scotches, best scotches would not match that, this thing. There was one elephant which was there in Kollur Mukambika, which was bought by Britishers to do the logging operation. There was only one elephant. So this elephant was so intelligent that whoever scares the elephant, it used to come back in the night and destroy their field. Such an intelligent animal, I'll tell you. And it will not disturb anybody else's fields, but whoever tries to, throw crackers and try to disturb the elephant. There was only one elephant in the whole of the forest. So this elephant used to come back, destroy their fields, make their life miserable and go back. But it was so harmless that even though we used to stay in the forest, it never used to trouble us. It knew we were there to protect that animal. So it was so intelligent. Unfortunately, elephant was old. It was 120 to 130 years old. So it started becoming weak. And once we realized that in the forest it is, it's going to die. So we went there. We had to trek 15 kilometers uphill just to take, whatever medicines to, apply to that elephant. We tried. And the elephant became okay. And again, what happened was after a week or 10 days, the elephant came back again and it died in a agricultural field where there are a lot of arecanut trees. Now we had a proposition where we had to burn the elephant. As per our rules, we cannot do the dafning of the elephant. We have to burn it. We have to cremate it. So now that the owner of that place, he started saying, "Sir, if you burn the elephant where it is, I'll lose all my crop. I'll also jump into the fire and even I will die." So this was a very challenging situation for me. Very challenging situation. The guy is ready to kill himself along with the elephant if I burn it there. I have to pull the elephant out of the field and burn it elsewhere. Now how do I do it? There is no equipment. 20 kilometers uphill in the forest. There is no road, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So imagine I gave a call and all the villagers came, like 400, 500 people. We cut the elephant into 9 pieces. It was a great challenge. We had to cut the elephant into 9 pieces, 4 legs, and then we got 300, 400 people pulling one leg of the elephant out of the field. So ultimately all our bosses, DFOs, everybody came, everything was decided, and then finally we gave it a rightful cremation. Legally, rightfully we gave it a cremation and we burnt that elephant right there and on the cliff of the hill. So these are some of the challenges which probably not everyone faces, but I thoroughly enjoyed all these challenges. So this is one instance, and this is immediately after my training, where I fared well also in my training. Because of my sports background, I could pick up some medals also. So I remember somebody telling me about marathon. So when you're just, it's very easy initially for the first half of the marathon, and later when you're running the next half of the marathon, your body says stop, your mind says go. So these are all experiences I had, and this is how I enjoy my staff, my this is the actual khaki attire we wear, but when you compare it, like me going to US, staying there, doing my own things and everything, I have a lovely set of people also around here, where we enjoy our forestry activities, and not only that, we work as a family, and even in festivals and other things, we do a dress code and enjoy all this, whatever is there. And below right here, that is our mangrove plantations. So this is the mangrove plantations where we take up, if you know tsunami, why tsunami happened, so you'll be able to understand mangroves. So mangroves are a very important aspect of our nature balance, as so called. So these mangroves are found only in the coastal belt. So it is my this thing. We have planted lakhs and lakhs of mangrove saplings on the coastal belt, which has now turned out to be lifesaver, because whatever the excess water flows through will not come back, because the mangroves acts as a barrier in between the sea and the land. So, and also not only that, it helps fishing. Now these fishes always lay eggs, breed in the mangrove roots. So these mangrove roots are very important from the fishery aspect of it, because all your whatever you eat today, prawns and crabs and everything, they breed under mangroves. So I am so lucky to have all these opportunities. While I compare myself being in US, I think I am more blessed being in my own state, my own place with my own people, and that is something which I really appreciate myself giving back to the community. So rather than going to US, making some money, starting an NGO and giving it to somebody else to run this thing, so I am right here doing things the way I want to do it. So that is something which makes me happy about. So these are some of my achievements. This is we had arrested a poacher who had killed wild animals, and again here also there are many things. So this is some social activities like your marathon and other things. So community, it's the same thing. Again here we had seized sandalwood worth of 170 kilos worth, say 15 lakhs. And this is again poachers being apprehended by me and my staff, of course. So okay, this is my nursery. So now we are talking about global warming and whatnot, I don't know. But it is so simple. Our population is 150 crores. Now let's assume, just assume, half of our population, not full, half of our population will plant one sapling. I think it makes sense. One sapling, half of our population. I think whole of India will be a forest. One sapling. So we talk about global warming and all this as our duty. At least if we are able to plant some seedlings. Not only planting is important, taking care of the seedling until it grows. If we can do that, I think India will not have a problem, and we don't need forest department at all. So these are my, this is my nursery, where at an average 2 to 2.5 to 3 lakh saplings we grow, and then we plant that into the forest. So this is my nursery. Front back. Okay. So now you might ask, after giving up your IT, I think you are deprived from all the happinesses of what town can offer you. I say no, I am not deprived. In fact, there are ways how you can enjoy in taluks and villages and everything. So we have a group called as a Wolf Pack. We have created a group called Wolf Pack, which is there in Kundapura, headed by me. So people who are young at heart, I mean not by age or anything, so who are young at heart, who wants to enjoy life, can join the group. There are many who have joined also. So we carry out activities like, fishing and swimming, cycling, and whatnot. So horse riding. This is in Mangalore, so we can do that. So this is cycling, and we have done cyclothons also, like, cycle for some, say 60 to 80 kilometers, then swim for 2 hours and then get back. Hopefully I'm not taking much of your time. So we also train small kids in the Wolf Pack, teaching them how to, you don't need a swimming pool. We don't need a swimming pool. There are a lot of natural resources. Only within a 20 kilometer stretch, I think we have some 20 to 25 ponds where you can swim, where you can play, where you can do whatever. Better than the swimming pool, which is chlorinated and you have skin problems. Till now, we have not got skin problems. All kids and all, they swim here. I love agriculture, and this is how I teach my kids. Now I have a small plot where I grow aracanut. So now my kids have to earn their own school fees. I don't pay it. I can show you the way. You earn your own school fees. How, you might ask me. So I give them 1 rupee per aracanut, collection of aracanut. So they, like every Saturdays and Sundays, we go to our aracanut field. So there, my kids, even my wife and my mother also, they do this activity. They are saving me from labor. I need not pay the labor. So what I do is, I pay them a little extra. So sad, small kids. So I pay them 1 rupee per aracanut. So they make around 2,000, each make around 2,000 rupees in a weekend. So that makes around 10,000 rupees in a month for both of them, brother and sister. So they pay their own fees. 1,20,000 is their annual this thing. So they pay their own fees. So this is how I train them. And this is how we live life happily in a small place. So this is again the collection of aracanut by my kids' wife, my mother. So being transported. So this is my family. So difficult road leads to beautiful places.
Hey, highway, come to Bangalore.
So we have such beautiful places right around here. So of course they're so beautiful that they have not been explored till now. People from here go abroad to explore. I'm not contradicting that. But there are places right here, right in Karnataka, right in Udupi district, which are unexplored. So I think I will finish my life here exploring these things. Probably if I have a next janmam or reincarnation, I will probably take birth somewhere else, so I'll explore that place. So I'll leave it to God to do that. So at an ending note, what I would like to tell you is, life is very short, very less time we have. So let's assume God has given us 100 days to live. Everybody has a lifespan. Say starting from one day to the 100th day, that is your last day. So if he has given you 100 days, I think we have already finished 80% of it. 80 days are over. We are left with only 20 days or 30 days, even if God says okay. So stay happy, be happy, explore and enjoy. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. If I have bored you, he has got to be blamed, not me.
Thank you, dear friends, for watching this episode of iTALK. iTALK is an event that was brought to you by iBat, the think tank, in association with U Channel. This edition of iTALK tried to bring in 12 thinkers, doers, and idea generators from diverse fields on a single platform. I hope you will watch and listen to our 11 other speakers too and enjoy it. If you have liked our program, please subscribe to our channel by clicking on subscribe button. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, dear friends.